Bonjour à toutes et à tous, soyez les bienvenus dans ma chaîne YouTube pour Jenkins Languages. Aujourd'hui, on va parler un peu de révision. D'accord. So, we're in half term now. Maybe you just had an end of unit assessment, or you're about to have one when you go back, and your teacher said to you, I want you to revise. And you're going away thinking, well, what does that look like? Well, I want to do a little bit for some of my classes to talk about techniques you can do for revision. On y va! So one of the techniques that I use, and it's a bit old-fashioned, but it still works, I think, is to copy out a sentence, cover it, and then fold the paper over. So let's imagine I'm going to do a Year 7 French sentence, then a Year 8 French sentence. So, j'ai les yeux verts et les cheveux blondes. I have green eyes and blonde hair. And what I would do after that is I'd then fold it over, like so. Let me just show that to the camera. Whoops. Comme ça. And then I would have a go at doing the sentence below. So, j'ai les yeux verts et les cheveux blondes. Good sentence to practice, particularly Year 7 French. What you're doing is getting the adjectives in the right place, so after the nouns, and also making sure they all agree. Now, I would say for each sentence you're practicing 2 to 3 times, probably 3. Yes, it's a bit old-fashioned, but what I find as well is that if I write it out by hand, it kind of gets into my muscle memory, particularly if I'm then doing a writing task. It's just getting vocab into my head, and I still do this when I'm learning other languages like German. Just the Year 8 one, for example, what should I give you? Je voudrais acheter, I would like to buy 1 kilo de pommes. I would like to buy a kilo of potatoes. Not a great sentence in terms of being the most imaginative, but what it's doing is the je voudrais, I would like, plus infinitive, acheter, to buy. If you were saying I would like to eat, je voudrais manger, and then 1 kilo de, and it's de, not des, despite the fact pomme is plural, because it's a quantity. So same idea, fold over, and then copy out again. Je voudrais acheter 1 kilo de pommes. Fold over and carry on like that. And what would happen is you'd work through the page, 2-3 different sentences, and as you fold and fold, you're left with a stick like that. And what I like to do is fold it up and then chuck it in the bin. Standard rules apply as in school. If you're chucking it in the bin, say the name of a basketball player. Steph Curry. Take 1, done it first time.
Okay, super, on continue. Another thing we can look at for revision is looking at PowerPoints. So I have been sending my class PowerPoints of what we've done in the lesson as a way of going over them at home, because obviously one thing to do it in a lesson, one thing to do it 2 days, a week, a month later and still remember it. I would ask, if your teachers aren't sending you PowerPoints and putting them in emails or putting them on Show My Homework or Go to Schools, whatever you use, I'd be asking, because particularly given how much more learning from home we've done this last year, I think it's really good strategy. Also, it will set you up because if you miss something in higher education, often they'll just send you the PowerPoint to then go through it and learn from there. So very quick bit of revision here. This is Year 7 French. I'll come on to Year 8 in just a moment. This is revising dates. So you've got exercise here that I did in class with my Year 7s, but the issue is, can you look at that then and still tell me those dates in French? So first one, it says example there, it's already done, le 11 juin. Next one, le 1er février, le 10 mars, etc., etc. So what I'm able to do is from memory work through, and I'm on presentation mode, so I haven't got the answers there, but the answers come up when I do them. The key is to really be self-controlled here and properly test yourself. Don't just look at the answers immediately, have a think about it, work it out. Here as well, working out whether these will go into j'ai les yeux or j'ai les cheveux. J'ai les yeux bleus. I have blue eyes. J'ai les yeux. J'ai les cheveux blonde. Blonde hair. You can't really have blonde eyes, can you? J'ai les cheveux bouclés. I have curly hair, etc. And once again, the answers are on the next slide, but I was deliberately taking those away to challenge myself. Obviously, if you don't remember any of these words, like maybe natte, which means braided, make a note of it, write it down, copy it out. Anytime you see a word you don't remember, make a note of it, because it's by doing that that we get those words stuck into our long-term memory. Very quickly, that could be an activity to have a read through as well. Able to answer the questions, really test you. That's a good one actually, because it talks about nationality, it does numbers, it does birthdays, it does languages. Obviously language, nationality, often the same words being used there. So particularly with that, answering the questions, any vocab you don't know, look it up, make a note of it. Handily at the bottom it tells you the word mais is French, but that's a really good word to remember if you're then starting to do some writing, or even in your speaking, it just stretches your answers a bit longer. Year 8 French now, very quickly. This was what I did right at the start of the year in September, but can you say je mange du jambon, je mange des fruits, je bois de l'eau minérale, je mange des frites, etc., etc. Obviously, when you look at that, it's easy, but then obviously, can you still remember that it's going to be je mange du pain, je bois du café. Watch out for café there, by the way. Often words that end in E in French are feminine, but café is most definitely masculine. And there it means I drink coffee. If you talk about going to le café, that means going to the cafe. Cafe can mean both a cafe and coffee in French. Here's a quick bit of Year 8 French revision on verbs as well. Actually, when I did this in class, people find it difficult. I always find teaching verbs a struggle, but are you able to remember that, for example, nous aimons, whenever it's nous in the present tense, it is going to have an ONS ending. Quick bit of pronunciation here as well. For B, Charlotte aime le chocolat. Charlotte likes chocolate. Les jeunes adorent le fast food. The young people love fast food. Aime, adore. Never pronounce the NT ending there. Déteste, same idea. The E is being pronounced déteste. The ENT there is just kind of falling off the end. Same idea here. Tu habites où? Where do you live? Habite, déteste, adore, aime. All of those, the ending is being pronounced the same. Ok, on va s'arrêter juste là. Merci beaucoup à toutes et à tous. N'oubliez pas de faire la révision et de cliquer sur le like. Je vais parler un peu en anglais. Guys, we're really near 100 subscribers, which I never thought was possible. I started with very few in March, April. I started doing this. So I'd just say, please keep watching videos, keep leaving comments about what you'd like to see me do. I'm a bit slower making videos these days, but I still get through them. Don't forget to keep hitting like, subscribe, comment. Remember to refer your friends as well. If you've got friends maybe at different schools as well, get them to subscribe as well. Okay, merci beaucoup à toutes et à tous. À tout à l'heure. Ciao.